Hey everyone, Jared Gaspy, your local real estate superhero here again. Today we are going over pre-listing home inspections. And so for some of you, that sounds like something you've already heard of plenty. For other people, that's something that you probably haven't heard of, but your mind's starting to spin a little bit and you kind of realize what I'm talking about, but it's not something that you've really dealt with all too much. So for me personally, I operate, live in, and work in Southern California. And California is one of the states where pre-listing home inspections aren't super popular yet. So for the people that live in states where it is popularized, this is just something you've probably at least heard of and dealt with. For people that live in California and other states where this isn't something that's normal, it's coming, so it's good to know about it in advance. So basically, it is exactly what it sounds like, but let's go over three basic things. Let's go over what it is, just in a summarized little nugget of information. Let's go over why people don't like it, and then let's go over why people are doing it despite that. So, what is a pre-listing home inspection? It is exactly what it sounds like. It is you getting your home inspected. You have an inspector come through, figure out everything that's wrong with the home, gives you that list, and they do that before your home ever hits the market. Why would you do that? I mean, we'll get into that. But essentially, that's all it really is. You have a standard home inspection done on the property before you're actually on the market, so that way you have a list of everything that may go wrong whenever the inspections were to have ever been done later. You know about it in advance. The headache's gone. You know exactly what you're dealing with. You can get your list of what you're willing to fix figured out before anyone even puts an offer down. So, why don't people like it? Honestly, it's because it costs money. It costs money, and it's someone saying, I'm going to figure out what's wrong so that way other people can know what's wrong with my home before they even look at it. And that's scary whenever you look at it from that perspective, just saying, I'm going to find problems for you. That doesn't make anyone really feel good, and it's really scary whenever you look at it from that point of view. And of course, it costs money. You know, home inspections, depending on where you're looking and how big the home is and exactly who you're getting to do it, can range from, around $200 to sometimes like $500 or more. And those numbers fluctuate, and I'm sure they fluctuate outside of California too. But that's money that people don't want to spend, especially because inspections usually are something that you get to pay immediately, and it's not something that you get to pay whenever escrow closes. So that also kind of causes a little bit of a hiccup. It's not like normal situations where you're able to say, okay, well, I'll just credit the buyers this much money. You have to pay the inspector whenever the inspection's done, and if the inspection's done before it ever hits the market, you're paying before you even have your home say it's ready to be sold. And so it can be scary, and it can be frustrating, and not a lot of people are super up for it. So the question is, why are they becoming popular in so many states, and why are they eventually going to hit other states like California? Well, it's because the benefits outweigh the downsides. So I talked about perspectives and point of views, right? So the point of view that a lot of sellers have is, why would I be the one to go out of my way to tell other people what's wrong? Well, that can be scary. Basically saying, I have a flashlight, I'm going to shine it on the problems that way you can see them before you see anything else. That can be intimidating, and not a lot of people are really up for doing something like that. The other perspective, however, is a couple of different factors that play very well into getting a deal done. So let's look at it from a buyer's perspective for just a quick second. So you're a buyer, and you're looking at a bunch of different homes. Let's say you have 3 homes that you really like, and you're trying to decide which of these 3 homes you want to put your money into, which home you're going to call yours, where are you going to be for the next 30 years. Well, out of those 3 homes, someone's already gone out of their way to say, hey, look, here is a stress-free transaction. I've already gotten you a list of the things that need to be fixed, and I have a list of the things that I'm willing to fix and do out of my own pocket. You can negotiate on if you want me to do more or less or however you want to do it, but I wanted to make sure that you knew about it in advance. That makes a buyer feel a lot more comfortable trying to go after that one listing versus going into the unknown for the other 2. The other perspective that you have whenever you're in a situation where you see someone with a pre-home inspection, you know that there's not going to be a big fear. So why does it make you feel so much better whenever you're looking at that home versus the other 2? It's because you're not going to go into escrow, waste 10 days or 2 weeks, only to find out that you have a problem with the home that you thought you loved that is way too big for you to even consider fixing. One of the biggest reasons why people fall out of escrow are for 2 things. It is the inspection and it's the appraisal. And so if you have the ability to do a pre-listing home inspection and take away one of the biggest red flags that comes with any transaction, which is finding something that you didn't think you were going to need to fix, and now someone has to decide who fixes it. A lot of people are willing to take that small hit now, pay that $200, pay for, the lower end inspection, because honestly speaking, you are the one looking for the problem, so no one's going to expect you to spend $600 on an inspection to find every nook and cranny. Make sure you get a good home inspector in order to do it, so that way they don't just poorly write up an inspection report that makes it look worse than it is. But don't go out of your way to break your bank just that way you can point out problems. But by pointing out those problems, you do a few different things. You make people realize that you're willing to work with them and that you're willing to put your own money forward in order to say, I want to do a deal with you that is going to be great for everyone. It also says, hey, look, once you get into this transaction, there's not going to be a lot of hiccups. We're going to go smooth sailing from start to finish. And you get to say that without it being a lie. You have the inspection done. It's very rare that you're ever going to have a second inspection done, and that inspection is going to find something that's egregiously different. And so if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to put in $200, $250, $300, $350, but you're going to make 20 grand plus off of selling the home, if not a lot more depending on where you live, it may genuinely be worth it. And there's a reason why they're becoming more and more popular. It's because it saves headaches. It saves a deal from falling out. It can be a make or break decision whenever a buyer's looking at several different homes. And it just ultimately makes everyone feel more comfortable working with each other, and you're put in a situation where you're not fighting with your buyers. Because you want a smooth transaction. A lot of agents and a lot of people who think of real estate think that it's you versus them, and that you have to win against your opponents. And it's not like that. You're trying to do a deal that's good for everyone. And so this is your best way in order to make sure that that gets done well. So is it the best thing in the world? Not necessarily, but is it a good idea? Absolutely. And can it help? 100%. So that is what a pre-listing home inspection is. If you guys have any questions and want me to go in more depth on something like this, let me know. It's not the most complicated thing to understand or wrap your mind around. A pre-listing home inspection is exactly what it sounds like. But the societal impacts that it has whenever it starts becoming more popularized, maybe you want a little bit more context on that. But let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. I appreciate everyone who's watched, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.